Danny Vegas Time, Danny Vegas World, segment 2, right here on the Danny Vegas Live Show. We are literally now going for $500,000. $500,000 right here on the Danny Vegas Live Show. And I don't know what I do with all that money, because it's gone every week. I don't know. I never see that money. All right, segment 2. Remember, hang around for segment 4. We have at the last segment of the last show of the month, we have a law segment. So we're going to talk a little bit about breaking the law. Name that group. Can you name that group who sang that song, Breaking the Law? All right. Well, if you can, that means you're cool. If you can't, that just means you're young. I was actually watching that video just the other day. Okay. Breaking the Law by who? There's not by The Who, but who did that song? Breaking the Law. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about what I feel is probably one of the most things that people screw up the most. And you can't tell them anything because they think they're smarter than you, but for the most part they're not. But I do want to talk a little bit about, and I did not coin this. It's part of a show on TV that I enjoy watching very much, called The Prophet. It is where Marcus Lemonis goes in. He is quite a successful entrepreneur, I guess you could say. And he goes in and he finds businesses that he's going to invest in that usually have some type of effed up process. And he's a big advocate of people, 1, process, 2. Oh, forget, let's start all over. Okay, he's a big fan of people, right? Product and process. Now let's get into that a little bit, because if you've never heard of this before, it's very cool. Each business, you have 3 elements. I like to add one, which we're going to talk about later. Have 3 elements: people, the process, and the product, or the product and the process, whatever. In other words, you could have the best kick-ass product in the world, but if you don't have the people, it's not going to flow. It's not going to work. You may have the best product in the world, you may have good process, but if you don't have people to implement the process, you're going to fail. It's going to be a struggle. Now, you may have great people, you may have a great product, but you have no process. And that's where most people fall flat on their ass. Now, I admit it, some people just got a crappy product. They think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. They think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But it's not. And be damned, you're never going to tell them. They're never going to learn. But that's okay. Go fly it into a mountain. Go for it. You never know. I've been wrong. Hey, let me tell you. When someone told me that there was going to be stores on high-end retail shops selling coffee, I'm like, how can you have a coffee shop on high-end retail locations selling coffee for 10 cents a cup? Because that's what coffee was. It was 10 cents a cup. Now it's $5 for a, rainbow mocha smoothie. So I was wrong on that. I was also wrong on the business stores. I can't even call it FedEx shops or Kinko's. Or maybe they're not around anymore. I'm like, I don't know where you're going to make money selling copies for 10 cents. I just go over to Long's and put 10 cents in the damn machine and it makes a copy. How you going to do that? But you know what? I was wrong. So anyway. But it's always about that. People, product, and process. If you have great people but no process, you're going nowhere. If you have a great product but have no people, see what I'm trying to say is you have to have all 3 entities in motion, stepping in step at the same time. And here's the amazing thing. This is flat ass amazing. Just because a company makes a hell of a lot of money, and just a company's really big, it doesn't mean that they have great process. It just means they make a lot of money. It don't mean they're any less screwed up than you are. It's just, I found, and this is a very interesting thing to think about. When you have a huge cash flow, when you have a lot of money coming in, it hides a lot of problems. You know why? You got all the money coming in. But boy, let me tell you something. That money starts to dry up. That money goes away. Those problems, all that stuff, oh, does it rear its ugly head in a major fashion. I've seen it a million times. Life is good, money coming in, everybody rocking, everybody rolling. We're rolling in some nice cars, we're paying our bills, we're going out to nice dinners. Life is good. But you hit a downturn and all those processes that don't exist basically will show up in an evil uniform and just snatch everything away. So, what do we do? Well, there's business coaches out there. There's all kinds of people who can help you. But I would take a look. You're a small business. Maybe you're the people. Okay, maybe you are the people. And so what are you going to do? You know you're great. So you have to look at your product. Is your product valuable? Does it create an experience? Does it solve a problem for your customer or not? Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. And that's the problem. Maybe you have great processes. Maybe you're a man. Let me tell you, I know, especially ladies, that their process is so good. It's amazing. Sometimes it's a little bit too good. They overprocess stuff. It's so good. It is incredible. It's admirable. It's inspirational. But you know what? Maybe the product just like, no one really, no one cares about buggy whips anymore. I don't know. So, those are the three things that I want you all to think about. I want you to put it down on paper. Does your company have the right people? Does it have the right product? Is your product what people want? Does it create that? Is there a need for your product? Does it solve a problem? Is it an experience? Do you have the product that people want? And of course, the processes of how to either distribute that, put people in place, make it flow, all that stuff. But I have about 2 minutes and 20 seconds left of this segment. I want to talk about pathway. Now, pathway is something I've come up with, because you know what? I don't see a lot of small companies. I can think of one right now in my head, which I think is a kind of a great idea, kind of a great platform. It has potential, but it just doesn't take off. And because I don't think there's a pathway. The product is good. I think the person running it is good. The processes need a little help, but there's no pathway. And I think, in a way, processes, having great processes, having, your shit together, I guess, creates a pathway. Because you can't get into a pathway of success when your processes are so messed up it holds you back. Especially for startups. What is your pathway? What is the pathway to where you want to be? What are you going to do with this business? What's the end game? What's the pathway? What is the road? The yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Where is that? Because if you don't have a pathway, if there's no thought process of where we're going, and why, and march with me to the gates of Shangri-La, you're going to, again, struggle. So, 40-some seconds left in this segment. Let's go back. People, if you're the only person in the game, look at yourself. Look at yourself from the outside in. Okay? I have flaws. I tend to procrastinate a little bit too much. Tend to pretty much procrastinate too much. Processes. Your product. This is your product. Do people really need it? Is there a market for it? Or maybe you're just too much in love with it and you just, you can't see the forest without the trees. And the processes. That's a big one. Do you have the processes to move forward? And of course, pathway. This is Danny Vegas. We'll be back for segment 3 right after this.